So this is the numerical which is based on the concept of wavelengths and corresponding frequencies. So the content is the audible frequency range of a human ear is 20 Hz to 20 kHz. Convert this into corresponding wavelength range. Take the speed of sound in air at ordinary temperatures to be 340 meters per second. So the starting frequency Fi is equal to initial frequency Hz. So the final frequency F is equal to kilohertz. So we should find out the wavelength range, that means initial wavelength to final wavelength. Therefore, initial wavelength Vi is equal to F lambda. Therefore, lambda I is equal to V by Fi. So lambda I is equal to, what is this V by Fi? V is 340 meters per second. Initial frequency is 20 Hz. Therefore, it is 17 meters. Now, the final wavelength lambda F is equal to V by final frequency. So V is equal to 20 kilohertz. So V is equal to 340 meters per second. Final frequency is 20 kilohertz. So we can write this one as 340 by 20 into 10 cube. This 10 cube, 20 in 340, 17 times. So it is 17 by 1000, nothing but 17 millimeters. So the wavelength range is 17 meters to 17 millimeters. Wavelength range is 17 millimeters to 17 millimeters, because V is proportional to lambda, but F is equal to V by lambda. So we can write that F is proportional to 1 by lambda. So F increases, lambda decreases, and vice versa. That's why we should write the wavelength range from reverse order, 17 millimeters to 17 meters. The next concept to be discussed is characteristics of wave motion. Means when a wave is traveling through any medium, how it will behave, what are the characteristics it can possess. So what we can say, a wave is a disturbance and it is the transfer of energy through a disturbance. It is a disturbance, or we can write it is the transfer of energy through the disturbance. So when a wave is propagating, it is simply a transfer of energy. Transfer of energy is must and should. Third one, when a wave is propagating through the medium, all medium particles will vibrate or moves with constant velocity. The medium particles are the particles of the medium vibrates to and fro, from to and fro. While they are vibrating, when wave is moving, so the wave maintains the constant velocity. So in this case, wave is maintaining the constant velocity. V is equal to f lambda. So when a wave is moving, its frequency is constant, all remaining are variables. The frequency of a wave is constant, but wavelength and velocity are variable. So such like this, we can refer the characteristics, and we will see more characteristics about the wave motion. So the next characteristics what we should observe in case of wave motion is, when a wave is just ready to start, the particle which is vibrated, it is starting earlier and it is reaching to the last particle little later. So the vibrations of the first particle is little earlier and continuously progress to last particle. So the next one, what we can say is, if a medium, if it should exhibit the wave motion characteristics, that should be elastic medium. The medium should be elastic. And the next one, if it is a simple harmonic oscillatory medium, then we can create the transverse waves. So sometimes wave motion will be like transverse waves. So whether it is transverse wave or longitudinal wave, so it is oscillating simple harmonically. So what we can say, these all are the different characteristics of the wave motion. So the next concept is speed of a transverse wave. Let us suppose, if you see, velocity of a transverse wave that is passing through a string is defined by tensional force by linear density. So it is nothing but, we can write, so it is square root of tensional force by linear density. So how it is possible, we will see now. Let us suppose, take the tensional force, its expression is mg, linear density is nothing but mass per unit length. So what we can understand from this expression is, we are finding V. So tensional force mg, any force dimensionally equal to m L power t power minus 2, L power 1 t power minus 2 whole divided by Mass per unit length, m by L. So we will get m L square T power minus 2 by m. M and m gets cancelled. We will get L square T power minus 2. It is nothing but L T power minus 2 or L T power minus 1 whole square. What is this L T power minus 1? Nothing but the dimensional formula of the velocity. Therefore, we got v square is equal to T by mu. We did T by mu here. So, v is equal to square root of T by mu. For transverse waves, it is also defined as square root of eta by rho, where eta is equal to rigidity modulus, where rho is equal to density of the medium. So we started with tensile force by linear density, we got v square, so v is equal to under root T by mu, and we will check this equation also whether it is correct or not in dimensionally. So velocity, we got eta by rho. This is in case of solids. Before this, we have proved v square is equal to 2 by mu. This is in case of, or v is equal to square root of T by mu. This is in case of stretched strings. So, what we can see, we should prove this one also on the basis of dimensions. So, where eta is equal to rigidity modulus, where rho is equal to density. So, what is the dimensional formula of eta? It is nothing but force by area by change in strain. So, F by A. So, force is m L T power minus 2, area is L square, therefore it is m power 1, L power minus 1, T power minus 2. So, rho density, mass by volume, therefore it is m by L cube. Now I should divide eta by rho, therefore eta by rho is equal to, what is eta? M L power minus 1 T power minus 2 by m by L cube. So, this is m L power minus 1 T power minus 2 into L cube by m. M gets cancelled. This is L square T power minus 2 is equal to eta by rho. Therefore, eta by rho is equal to, it is L T power minus 1 whole square. Therefore, it is v square is equal to eta by rho. Therefore, v is equal to square root of eta by rho. So, in case of stretched strings, we can prove it is T by mu on the basis of dimensional formula. In case of solids, we can prove it is eta by rho, because it for solids has rigidity modulus and density. Stretched strings has under the influence of tensional force and linear density. So, the next concept is speed of a longitudinal wave. So, a longitudinal wave almost through the metallic rods, the sound waves which are produced in the metallic rods. That means if you take a solid, it has bulk modulus, rigidity modulus, and everything is present. So, that is why in case of solids, V longitudinal is equal to square root of k plus 4 by 3 eta whole divided by rho. So, where k is bulk modulus, where eta is rigidity modulus where rho is density. It is not valid for all solids. If suppose some solids, they have uniform shape and longitudinal shape, they will possess a bending factor, and this bending factor results to the Young's modulus also. So, second case what we can say is, if solids are exhibiting the uniform shapes, so they include Young's modulus. So they will have Young's modulus. In this case, V will become square root of y by rho, where y is equal to Young's modulus. Okay, this is valid for the solids and subcategorized solids. Then what about the fluids, for gases and liquids? So, for gases and liquids, V longitudinal is equal to square root of K by rho, where K is bulk modulus and rho is density. Such like this, we can classify the speed of transverse wave and longitudinal waves in different media. So this is the numerical which is based on the concept of speed of transverse waves. A steel wire of 0.722 meters long has a mass of 5 into 10 to the power of minus 3 kg. If the wire is under a tension of 60 newtons, what is the speed of a transverse waves in the wire? So, tensional force is 60 newtons, mass of the body is 5 grams, that means 5 into 10 to the power of minus 3 kg. Length of the body is 0.72 meters, so we should find out V. So, by considering all the physical quantities, we should get V is equal to square root of tensional force by linear density. Therefore, linear density is equal to mu is equal to mass per unit length or mass per length. So what is the mass? 5.0 into 10 to the power of minus 3. Length is 0.72. So we will get the answer is 6.94 into 10 to the power of minus 3 kg meter inverse, because it is kg per meter. So therefore V is equal to speed of transverse wave. V is equal to square root of T by mu. Therefore, it is square root of tensional force is 60 newtons, mu is 6.94 into 10 to the power of minus 3. So, this minus 3 goes up, so therefore it is 60,000 by 6.94, but under the square root. So, if we do this calculation, we will get approximately V is equal to 93 meters per second. So, the 93 meters per second is the speed of transverse wave in the wire or in a stretched wire under these physical dimensions. Up to now, we have discussed about the different types of waves through mechanical medium. One is longitudinal wave, second one is transverse wave, and we have seen the velocities of longitudinal wave and transverse wave through different media also. Now we will discuss the examples of the longitudinal wave. The best example of the longitudinal wave is a sound wave. From this point, we can say that sound is also one of the form of a wave propagation. So, we are saying that sound wave is an example of the longitudinal wave. So, what is a sound wave? A sound wave is transformation of energy through all matter media in the form of compressions and rarefactions. So, a sound wave is the transformation or transfer of energy. If you want to transfer the energy, there is a need of medium. Without medium or media, very difficult and impossible to transfer the energy from one point to another point. That means what we can say at this point is, of course a sound wave is the transfer of energy, but it should be through different media. But one of the best quality and unique quality of the sound wave is sound wave can travel through the all matter media which were available in the atmosphere. That means, so a sound wave is the transfer of energy which can travel through all matter media. Matter media means we know that chemically matter is classified into three ways or three types: solid, liquid, gas. So matter media means solid medium, liquid medium and gas medium. So we can say that solid medium, B liquid medium, and C gas medium or gaseous medium. The examples of the solid medium, we can say that metals, metallic rods, solid pipes, etc. Liquid medium, the examples of the liquid medium: water, petroleum products, and different liquids that were available with us. A sugar solution is also a liquid. Salt solution is also a liquid. But based on the concentration of the liquid, nothing but the density, there is a possibility for the change in the velocity through that given medium. The gas medium means all the gases: oxygen, hydrogen, like many. Here we are saying that a sound wave is the transfer of energy which can travel through all matter media. But what we can understand is only through media only the sound wave can travel, not through the vacuum. So it is very difficult and impossible for the transformation of a transfer of the sound wave through vacuum. So through vacuum, sound wave cannot propagate. Now we will discuss that how the sound wave is able to travel through the matter medium and what are the different properties that were associated with the sound wave based on the classification about the frequency. Now we will discuss a reason why the sound waves are able to travel through all matter media. So why the propagation of sound is possible through all media. Or all matter media. To know the answer for this question, we should start with the basics of the wave propagation. Yes, we know that wave can be propagated through different medium in two ways. One is compression, rarefaction. Another one is crest and trough. When it is compression and rarefaction, this wave propagation is said to be longitudinal wave. We have started that best example of the longitudinal wave is sound wave. That means we should know how the sound wave is able to travel through the different media by this characterization. If you see a tuning fork which was in the U-shaped tube and it is connected to a vertical fulcrum like this. When this type of tuning fork was given to a student, it was hammered or it was beaten with a rubber hammer. Once the beating was over, we can observe the different types of oscillations from to and fro from the mean position in the tuning fork. So it will be visualized like this. This was the original position of the tuning fork. If suppose, then some particles, the particles around this tuning fork will vibrate away from the mean position like this. Once the vibration is away from the mean position, it won't tend to continue in the same path. It will come to the mean position also. That's why it is said to be to and fro motion. While the particles are moving away from the mean position, what we can understand is all the particles are moving away from the mean position. That means there is a less number of particles gathered in a given specific volume. That's why volume is more but density is less. That is said to be rarefaction. Volume is more, density is less. The visualized concept of this was already done in our classes. Next one. Once the particles are moving away from the mean position, they won't be moved continuously towards the infinite distance, and after a certain path it will come back also. Means they are coming towards the source of the disturbance. So like this. So we can see the oscillations of the U-shaped tuning fork like this. So in this case, many particles will come and fixed in a given volume, and there is a possibility for the more number of particles which was gathered in a given volume. Suppose there is a much gap in the given volume. We know that density is equal to mass by unit volume. Here in the given volume, the mass is very less because the particles are countable. This condition is suitable to the rarefaction. But if you see the compression, compressed means a tightly fixed position, such like this. We can expect more number of particles in a given volume. Most probably we can say that there will be no gap for the motion of the sound particles also. We can expect that situation when the resonance was happened. So when you see compare these two boxes, here the particles are very less but the volume is same in the two cases. But here more number of particles were gathered. That means more mass is there per unit volume. This is said to be compression case. In case of this compression, we can say that density is more. So whenever a sound wave traveling through the all different media such like solid, liquid, gas, they used to propagate in a form of compression and rarefaction. That means the medium also should opposes the change in volume. Medium should oppose the change in volume. If suppose volume expands, so the medium should overcome this expansion. If suppose the volume compress in the propagation of sound, the medium should oppose this compression also. That means there is a relative motion between the sound waves and the medium. Relative motion between waves and medium. So what we can understand when this was happened is sound needs a medium to propagate, and the nature of the medium should oppose the change in the volume, and that means maybe compression or rarefaction. Through that medium only the sound waves likes to travel to the further distance. That's why sound waves are able to travel in the all different media that was explained like this. But when these sound waves are traveling through the different media, their velocity will change, because velocity of the sound wave is dependent on a factor called density of the given medium also. So before going to discuss all those things, now we will see the visual concept of this compression and rarefaction and the types of waves. So the wave propagation is like this. This is the mean position. So what we can understand is this will be like this. The suitable graph for this wave propagation is like this. We will take some finite area or finite dimensions area. If I draw the particles thick, means if I cover the whole volume of the given format with the molecules, then there is a less place to move the particles within the given space. In this case, it was said to be compression. So this whole space is filled with particles, particle filled. This is called compression. Then what about the rarefaction? Means all the particles are coming towards the mean position in case of compression. In rarefaction, we can see like this. So if you compare these two boxes, suppose if I separate it with a wall like this, here the compression, maybe the volume is same, but if you see the number of particles, in the second box the number of particles was very less. If particles was very less, that means mass per unit volume is also very less. So here the particles are moving away from the mean position, that's why only few are placed in the given volume. This condition is called rarefaction. Very next compression, next rarefaction. That means there was an alternative change from compression to rarefaction and rarefaction to compression. So this was visualized like this waveform. So this is the compression, this is the rarefaction. Compression, rarefaction. So the wavelength is defined as distance, or the distance between the two successive compressions or two successive rarefactions. The symbol of the wavelength is lambda. So like this we can visualize the concept of propagation of the wave through any medium. But In solid medium, like metals, metal rods, plastic tubes or metal tubes, the speed of the sound mostly 5000 meters per second in the order. Best example, if you see any aluminum rod, the solid, that is the best example of the solid medium. The speed of sound in that given medium is 5000 meters per second. Next, the liquid medium. So what about this liquid medium? Best example is water, drinking water, ocean water. Many waters are there, sea water. These waters has different density also with respect to the given impurities that was placed in that. So if you see the drinking water or any sea water, the speed of sound in that given medium is 1530 meters per second. That means as the density decreasing, there is a possibility for the decrease in the speed of sound also. But solid medium has higher density, liquid has lesser density, and sometimes it won't have any density also. But if you see the gases, the gas medium, best example is air. At normal temperature or room temperature, the speed of sound in air is 340 meters per second. So in solids, nearly 5 kilometers per second. In liquids, 1530 meters per second generally, and drinking water. These all values were at room temperature. That means in these examples, what we can understand is if temperature changes, automatically there is a change in the speed of sound. And at the same time, if you see the solid, liquid and gas media, there is a change in the density. We know that solids are higher density objects, liquids are less denser when compared to the solids, gases, they don't have any density because they are the fluids. So density decreasing, automatically velocity or speed of sound is also decreasing. And at the same time, temperature changes, there is a possibility for the change in the speed of sound also. Now we will discuss what are the factors that affects the propagation of sound through different media. So the next concept is factors affecting the speed of sound. First we will see theoretically, then we will go to the mathematical forms of these conditions. So factors, that means some physical quantities or some physical conditions that are really affecting the speed of sound. The first one is density. Before this, we have seen the examples of the speed of sound in liquid, gas and solids. So solid to liquid, next liquid to gas, we can say that density decreases. The arrow mark which was showed down is representing the decreasing in the physical quantity, and correspondingly the speed of sound was also changed. Here it is 5000 meters per second, here it is 1530 meters per second, and here it is 340 meters per second at room temperature. So as the density decreasing, if you see the values, speed of sound decreases. So speed of sound is directly proportional to change in density. Or we can write change in density or simply density also. So we can write speed of sound is directly proportional to density of the medium also. So V is proportional to rho. This is the one of the factor. So before going to discuss about this equation part, next we will observe the another factor which affects the speed of sound. The another factor which affect the speed of sound is temperature. So the next factor is temperature. So we can say that due to the different experiments that were done to observe the propagation of sound through different media, it was found that if temperature increases by 1 degree Celsius, there is a possibility for the change in speed of a wave by 0.61 meters per second. That means speed of sound directly proportional to temperature. So as the temperature increases, what we can say that density decreases. Sometimes solid temperature increased, it becomes liquefied. But if the atmospheric temperature if the temperature is increased, so that entire media, the surrounding media is behaving like elastic behavior. That's why it will propagate the sound very easily. So speed of sound is directly proportional to the temperature. So 1 degree Celsius rise in the temperature correspondingly 0.61 meters per second change in the speed. Change is a positive change. So what we can understand is, if suppose at 27 degrees Celsius the speed of sound in a given medium like air is 340 meters per second. So what will be the speed of sound at 35 degrees Celsius? At room temperature it was noted as 340 meters per second. What about the speed in 35 degrees Celsius? If you see the content, for 1 degree rise in the temperature, change in speed by 0.6 meters per second. Therefore, from 35 to 27, the change in the temperature is 8 degrees Celsius. So for 1 degree Celsius, 0.61 meters per second. So for 8 degrees Celsius, 8 into 0.61, therefore it is 0.528 meters per second, and it's correspondingly 5.28 meters per second. So if you see this one, the speed of sound increases by 5.28 times. That means already it was 340 meters per second. So the net result is 340 plus 5.28. Therefore it is 345.28 meters per second. So from this example we can say that as the temperature increases, there is a possibility for the increase in the speed of sound. We know that pressure is directly proportional to temperature by the ideal gas equation. PV is equal to RT. So here at constant volume, at constant gas constant, P is proportional to temperature. So for the rise in temperature, velocity increases. If P and T are proportional to each other, then we can say that if pressure increases also, the speed of sound will increase because of the proportionality ratio between pressure and temperature. The next factor that affects the speed of sound is humidity. Physically, humidity means more number of water vapors in a given volume. So presence of water vapors in a given volume. That means if more number of water vapors are present in the given volume, what we can say that if a sound wave is whistled from a source, these all water vapors will absorb that and absorbs, and it will propagate to the longer distances without any diminishing. That's why we can say that the whistle of the train at the train horn, air horn, which was audible very clearly in rainy season when compared to the summers, because in summer it is full of dry air. Dry air means all air molecules are transferred from high temperatures to the low temperatures, and there will be no energy in that also. Only kinetic energy is there, but sometimes they used to lose the kinetic energy in the propagation. But in case of rainy seasons, before the start of the rain or after the finishing of the rain, there is a possibility for the large number of water molecules or water vapors present in the atmosphere. There, the sound horns will be clearly audible to everyone. That means speed of sound is inversely proportional to humidity. This is the only factor which was inversely proportional to the speed of sound. Next, one more factor which was able to opposes the flow of speed of sound is direction of wind. If suppose the wind is supporting to the propagation of sound, that means the speed is the sound is propagating like this and wind is also propagating like this, then these two are assumed to be parallel vectors, then the speed of sound will increase. But if the sound is propagating to the forward direction, air blows in opposite direction of the sound wave, then in this case the air particles will act as a opposition or objection for the propagation of sound wave. In this case, the sound wave has to overcome the objection that was opposed by the sound waves. It may not be possible at the normal temperatures. That's why in this case sound audibility is decreases. So like this, we can observe the factors that were affecting the speed of sound. Now we will discuss the mathematical part of each and every factor by including the different laws of gas.